Good evening, everyone. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad. Yeah. Feliz Navidad. Merry Christmas. I'm glad you all are here tonight as we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ and kind of put a bow on this series. It's not about the gifts, it's about the gift. And I'm going to share with you what we've been leading up to, and it's all about baby Jesus. And Jason did a great job this morning with that. If you missed that sermon or the whole series, you can check it out on our YouTube page, Bowie City Church, church channels, or you can go to our media page on our website and check it out there as well, or you can download it on iTunes. But we get to finally get to Christmas. And so I'm asking the children, are you guys excited for Christmas? Yes. Adults, are you excited for Christmas? Yes. Woo, good. We're all excited. I'm excited for Christmas. I've always loved Christmas since I was a little guy, like some of you and some of you older guys still enjoy Christmas like you did as a child. I remember as a kid, all the leading up to Christmas, the anticipation was just mounting every week. Every week we would sing songs and we would listen to Christmas carols. We would eat candy canes and we would make snowflakes at school. You guys still do that in school? Make snowflakes? Well, we did. We make snowflakes at school. We would decorate the hallway. It just grew every week. And then today was the day where you were about to bust out of your seams. Like you just could not wait to wake up at the crack of dawn and irritate your parents so you can get up really early and open your presents. That was me, and I told my kids, don't do that, because I know what I did to my parents, and they were like, go back to bed. But we're excited for Christmas. We all get excited for Christmas. There's only a few people who aren't excited for Christmas. They're like Jehovah's Witnesses and Muslims and atheists. But those people, they're missing out. They're missing out on what the world is excited about with passion. And I know there's people in here who are passionate about Christmas. You can check out their decorations and how they go full blast. Some people go, woo, they love Christmas. Christmas is the time where they get to tell everybody about Jesus. But why does the world celebrate Christmas? Why is it? Why is Christmas? Is Christmas the time just to buy people nice things? Is Christmas the time to give gifts to people that you barely know? Is Christmas the time where we take advantage of the capitalism in our society, in our country, and you get to make much money as possible by the giving and selling of toys, or we stay within our Christmas budget? Nobody overspent their Christmas budget, right? Everybody's right on to the cent. Yeah, right. Someone's like, Christmas budget is like parameters. It's a kind of a guideline. Do we just watch the retail stores, watch the stores just make a lot of money or fail to make the ends meet, get into the black this year? It's Christmas time. What the American Human Association, it's called the AHA, is a real association, says that Christmas is this: just be good for goodness sake. That is what they say Christmas is about, to just be good for goodness sake. Why believe in God? Just be good for goodness sake. This is what the world has come to when it comes to Christmas. And we shouldn't be surprised when the world miss what Christmas is all about. We shouldn't be surprised when the world miss recognizing and receiving the true gift of Christmas. And why shouldn't we be surprised? Well, over 2,000 years ago, the first Christmas day, the whole world missed it. They were fast asleep when baby Jesus was born, if he was born at night. He was probably born at night because the angels came and the shepherds and all that. But they were fast asleep. The king of all eternity was being born, and the whole world missed it. There's only a few that actually saw it coming. Now, today, if a potential king is going to be born, this is the turnout for when a potential king is born. I have this picture here. That's the turnout for a king. Now, do you guys know where is this? History lesson, where is this? England. Good job. My son got it right fast. England. And they're all waiting. This is from the Daily UK. This is an actual picture of them waiting for when Kate, the Duchess, was giving birth to their first son. And this was the turnout just for the announcement that he was born. Like, they weren't going to see a picture. There wasn't going to be like Oprah wasn't going to show up with the helicopter drop and you get a gift and you get a gift. Like, it was none of that. This was just for the guy to come out with the scroll and say, on this day, on the blah, 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 Prince so-and-so was born, and everyone would cheer. Just for the announcement. No, I'm not in this picture. I didn't take this picture. I didn't take it. I took it off the internet. That's the turnout for a potential king. He may not even be king. He's like 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th in line, something like that. When Christ came into the world did not recognize him. And as the word, as the Bible, as God's word actually became flesh, his own did not receive him. And we're going to read the Christmas story from the Gospel of John. And this is my favorite book in the Bible, and it's from John. So you can turn there in the house Bible. It's going to be on the screen. It's John chapter 1. And John talks about Jesus coming into this world. It says this is John chapter 1. It says, in the beginning, was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. He was with God in the beginning, and through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. Verse 4, in him was the life, and that life and was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from God, his name was John. He came as a witness to testify concerning that light, so through him all men might believe. He himself was not the light. This is John. He was not the light. He came only as a witness to the light. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made through him, but the world did not recognize him. He, this is Jesus, came to which was his own, but his own did not receive him. Yet to all who receive him, to all who believe in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. Children not born of natural descent, nor of human decision or a husband's will, but born of God. And the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. And we have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. This is the Christmas story. And you're like, no, it's not. Christmas story is baby Jesus, Virgin Mary, and the baby, and the shepherd. What Jason said this morning, that's the Christmas story. Well, John is giving you the Christmas story as well. John is telling you the full gospel of the Christmas story right here. But the church, however, sometimes we can lose sight of the reason for the season. And it's our job as a church to help people understand what's the reason for this whole season. We remember the gift of Christmas. And who is the gift of Christmas? Jesus. That first time you can say Jesus is the right answer. You can say Jesus all day today, and it'll be the right answer. Jesus. Jesus is the reason. We need to remember, we need to remind the world of it because the world missed the first Christmas and did not recognize or receive Jesus. Still, each Christmas, the world missed Christ. See, this picture here, Jason used it this morning. This picture here, that little baby Jesus is Emmanuel. And Emmanuel means God with us. Everyone say God with us. That is Emmanuel. That is Jesus. He is forever and always with us. Do you see the manger and the baby right there? Don't be fooled for one moment. Those little tiny feet are the same feet that will crush the serpent's head. Jesus is the Word, and God became flesh. And Jesus is not just some cuddly, handsome man, it's a cuddly baby or a handsome man. He's not just a body on a cross. He's not just the resurrected man. No, he is more than that. Jesus is God. And God became flesh, born as a baby. Everyone understand that Jesus is God, and God became flesh. The Son of Mary is God and man. This holy infant, so tender and mild, is the same Jesus who says this in Matthew 16:27. Same Jesus that is going to come in his Father's glory with his angels, and then will reward each of us according to what they have done. The same baby Jesus is coming back one day with all his angels, and he's going to reward everyone according to what they've done, according to those who love Jesus. See, the poor, the homeless, infant in Bethlehem. See, the one mightier than this little baby is the mighty one. He's mightier than President Trump. He's stronger than President Obama, than Winston Churchill, than Napoleon, than Genghis Khan, than Caesar. This baby Jesus is God. This baby wrapped in swaddling clothes, this baby that's wrapped in clothes that is protected as a lamb would be protected, as Jason talked about this morning, to be spotless. Remember, he's not just our friend. He's not just a cohort. He's just not our buddy. He is Emmanuel. He is God with us. Think of it. God is with us. Today, where you sit, with you, God is with you. You need to recognize and receive as you look at baby Jesus. Now, let me ask you a question. What is this right here? A present. It's also called a what? Starts with a G. A gift. Now, the question is, how do you know that this is a present? Because it's wrapped. You recognize this as a present. What you just did is called recognition. You recognize this as a present, as a gift. If somebody from another culture or somebody who doesn't understand what this means when you see it came in, they were like, why is that box wrapped in that funny stuff? Like, what? I don't understand. What's the why? But you recognize it. You see it and say, oh, that's a present. And hopefully it's my present. Hopefully it's my gift. It's not in here really, but you recognize it. The world did not recognize Jesus as God. You see a gift and you say, I recognize it as a gift. But the world sees Jesus and they don't recognize him as a gift. They totally miss it. Our goal today as we celebrate the birthday of Jesus, that you will always recognize him as God, not just a cute baby, but as a God-man who came to save you and save the world from their sin, to recognize it. Now, do you know, as Jason did some studying today, do you know why we wrap presents? That's very practical, but that's not why we start wrapping it. We start wrapping it because the first present was wrapped, and Jason talked about today. The reason why we wrap presents, and you can say, well, this website, if you look at research, this website's going to say this, and this scholar's going to say this. But in the Christian world, and the reason why we continue to wrap presents is to remember the first present that was wrapped, and that was Jesus. We recognize Jesus as the first gift, him wrapped in swaddling clothes, him wrapped in rags. And so we wrap presents, we wrap gifts, not just so you can be surprised, which is pretty cool. That's kind of like the side effect of it. But it's to recognize that just as this gift is wrapped for you, it's given to you freely, you didn't pay for it, someone's given it to you, God wrapped the first gift to the world that's going to save the world. He wrapped him in swaddling clothes. So remember that when you're tearing through the paper and you're like, give me that present. Remember that it's recognized that gift is all because of Jesus. Today, Christ is missed. How many people in Bethlehem had forgotten the promise that God had told them about in their Bible about Christ's birth? Other tribes in Israel had departed from faith. We had Jews who had lost their faith and they were sent into exile. God restored them, and then after that, he had sent some prophets to keep telling them. But when their when the prophets had left, they had totally forgot. Zechariah's prophecy about the birth of his son, John, shattered the silence of 4 centuries. That's 400 years. So for 400 years, they didn't hear from God, and they totally forgot about Jesus. They totally forgot. They did not recognize him. Then 6 months after John, and John had leaped in his mom's womb, and we had that with Zechariah, the shepherds saw angels. Again, Jason talked about this morning, which is awesome. How long did they remember seeing the glory of God, hearing the angel's song, and all that happened that night? How long did they remember? What did they do? Jason told us this morning. What did they do? This is what Luke 2 says this. It says, when they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what they had been told about this child, and all whom heard it were amazed at what the shepherds told them. See, I believe it went like this. Like, as Jason said, the angel came and they were scared. These shepherds like, oh my gosh, there's an angel just showed up. Like, there's an angel. I would be scared too. And then they tell them there's going to be a baby, and he's going to be wrapped in clothes. He's going to be in a manger. That's going to be a sign to you. And there's like, okay, that's kind of weird. And they're like, oh, you still don't believe me? Okay, let's open up the heavens. And all these angels start singing, and it blows their minds. So they go running. They hurry off to this stable, to this cave, basically, where they had Jesus, where Mary had Jesus, and he was wrapped in swaddling clothes, and he was in a manger, just as the angel had told them. So they ran off, and they went and told everybody exactly what they just saw. I believe after that happened, the people responded 2 ways. Either they said, you're crazy. I don't know what kind of mushrooms you've been eating out in the field. That's crazy. Or they went to go see what they were talking about. I think those are the only 2 responses you can have. Either you're going to be like, no, I don't want, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. Or you're going to like, let's go see. I believe people went to go see baby Jesus, Mary and Joseph, or I like to call them baby Jesus, Mary and JoJo. I believe they all went to go see what the shepherds were talking about. But here's the question. How many of them remember the promise? How many of them, they grew up Jewish? How many remember said, that's the promise of 400 years ago? How many remember about the gift that God gave? All of Bethlehem, all of Jerusalem, all of Judea have forgot about this amazing news the shepherd told them. Jesus grew up for 30 years without drawing any notice from him. On his 12th year, he did amaze some Bible scholars, some teachers of the law at the temple. But besides that, Jesus just was low key. Jesus didn't ruffle any feathers. He just grew up as a carpenter. How long did it take for them to forget about everything they had just saw about this baby? Luke 2:52 says, Jesus grew in wisdom and stature in the favor of God and men. Jesus, as he grew up, just grew in stature with God and with man. But he wasn't, oh, I'm that same baby. Remember the angels? And Jesus just went about his way doing what God told him to do. How many people forgot the promise? They all forgot about the gift. They no longer recognized Jesus as the gift. He was just another man, Joseph's son. He was a carpenter. Totally forgot. How many of you, how many times have I let Jesus slip my mind? How many times have I forgot to recognize Jesus for who he is? How many times or how many moments have my actions made you go, Jesus who? How many times have you said something, have done something where you're like, don't you believe in Jesus? I heard this, like how many times have your actions, your thoughts make you seem like you don't even know who you are? I heard this song on the radio the other day, which is just like, as I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this married woman had forgotten who she was because of the fun she was having. She forgot her last name, like that, woo, you forgot your last name? How many times have our actions brought us to a point where we forget to recognize Jesus? I know I've had a couple times, many times. All of us have let Christmas, have let the gift slip our mind from time to time. Everyone except Mary. Mary did not let a word or an event or the promise of escape ever slip her mind. What she did the opposite. Luke 2:19 says that she treasured all the things and pondered them in her heart. She never forgot about who Jesus actually was. The whole time that she's being mother to him, she also him and recognizes him as the gift that God has given. How long before the world is going to forget about Christmas 2017? How long is it for you to forget about the gifts that you got or that you're getting? The stores are already pitching the slogans for Christmas, post-Christmas sales. New Year's is on its way. Super Bowl parties and Super Bowl savings are coming. Christmas is already yesterday. You're already thinking about me playing with my presents, me opening the gifts, what we're going to do. And yesterday is 2 days ago. So as we look at this baby Jesus, if you pull that picture back up, as we look at this child, we look at this baby, let us not forget who he is. Let's always recognize him. But there's two parts in this, and what I read today in John, the gospel of the story, Christmas story, is to recognize and to receive. What good is a gift if this is your gift, everybody's gift? And I had one for each of you. What good is a gift if you never receive it? What good is the gift if I say the exact thing that you want is in this? You think about what you want right now. It can be money, toys, a man, a woman, whatever it is. You think about what you want. And if I said what you want in this box, and I'll give it to you, what good is it if you never receive it? It's good for nothing. It's no good. It's no good to you. And that's what happens with Jesus. That's what happened to God. God says, I'm giving you life. I'm giving you love. I'm giving you hope. I'm giving you faith. I'm giving that you never be alone. I'm giving all this to you. And you recognize it as a gift. And it says your name on it. This is your present. All you have to do is take it. And how many of us just leave it and never open it? Never take it. That is what's missing in the Christmas story. It's people who take Jesus, they recognize and say, yes, that's that baby in that picture. That's Jesus, that's Joseph, Mary, and they recognize all of it. But if you do not receive it, then it's just another good story. Everyone, we've all seen God's glory. You may be like, no, I haven't. You've all seen it. You've seen it. You probably felt it. You probably even recognized it when God is working in you and working around you. And when Jesus is showing up in your heart, you feel him and you recognize it, but some of us may recognize it and run away from it. Some of us may see it and just not receive it. Don't ever stop receiving God's gift. Don't ever stop feeling and searching and looking for God's love. Don't ever stop receiving the gift that God has given to you. Christ is that gift. He is the gift that is always new, yet never is old. He is the gift that is forever ancient and forever new. We pray that the gift of Christ will be in your hearts. We pray that Jesus is the gift that you would have in your heart that will always bring you life and bring you light. Our prayer is that you would have this private, and you will have this intimate, and you will have this personal life with Jesus as him being your light. As John says, the life that was the light to all men was coming into the world. And this is what God wants for all of you. And that's what Jesus' present, that's what Jesus' gift is to you. Life and light, that you would never be in darkness and that you would never be without life. And he was always with you, and he would never leave you. He will always give you peace, hope, and love. But the greatest of those is love. But it's up to you to always receive that. Always receive. Recognize who Jesus is this Christmas. Always. Not just this Christmas. After Christmas and for the rest of your life. Recognize that this is Jesus, and he's wrapped. And we wrap the presents, and yes, this is him. But always receive it, and receive it with open arms and open heart of who Jesus Christ is in our lives. We must let our light shine so that everyone can see it, so everyone may see your deeds and praise the Father in heaven, as Matthew 5 says. If the light stops shining in us, then what would that make us? It makes us dark. Let us make the light shine. Church, family, and friends, be the light. Recognize and receive the gift of Jesus Christ and the gift that he gives to everyone who freely will receive it. recognize the gift of peace, hope, and love, light and life. Let us be the light that shines in the darkness, that brings hope, peace, and love to the world. And I would like to say to all of you, Merry Christmas.